Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of The Light of Lothal's Moons. My name is True. Over the next few episodes, I'm going to be talking about one of my favourite Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Let's get started.
Hello there.
Obi-Wan Kenobi was a Force-sensitive male born on the planet Stewjon, 57 years before the Battle of Yavin. He was taken to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant at the age of 3. During his time at the temple, he was taught how to meditate and was trained by Master Yoda before being assigned to Qui-Gon Jinn as a Padawan. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon spent a year on Mandalore protecting Duchess Satine Kryze from a group of insurgents who sent bounty hunters after them. They escaped to Draboon, where they were attacked by a swarm of Venomites. Obi-Wan carried Satine to safety, but fell and dropped her, which left her with a scar. During their time together, Obi-Wan fell in love with Satine, but decided to continue his Jedi training. 40 years BBY, Kenobi and Jinn were sent to Teth to investigate the disappearance of agricultural shipments along the Traleus trade route. After running into some trouble, they were forced to escape. Qui-Gon sent Obi-Wan to find a ship so they could get off the planet. Obi-Wan was captured and held hostage by Thurable, the major domo of Wombo the Hutt, but was exchanged for Wombo after he was captured by Qui-Gon. When Obi-Wan was 17, a political dispute broke out on the inner rim planet Pijal. A group called the Opposition were protesting the signing of a treaty that would end the monarchy and give more power to the Zerka Corporation. The Lord Regent of Pijal, Rael Averross, who had been a Jedi, who like Qui-Gon had trained under the Jedi Master Dooku, asked Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan to help end the dispute. During their investigation, they discovered that the Crown Princess Fonri had formed a militia called the Blackguards, who were behind the attacks to frame the opposition so that the monarchy would be restored. In 32 BBY, Qui-Gon had decided Obi-Wan was ready for the Jedi trials, but they were sent by Supreme Chancellor Finis Valorum to negotiate with the Trade Federation, who had set up a blockade around Naboo. The negotiations never took place, as Darth Sidious had ordered Viceroy Newt Gunray to kill the two Jedi.
And the Jedi?
The Chancellor should never have brought them into this. Kill them immediately.
Gunray had dioxis gas released into the room where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were waiting and had a number of B-1 battle droids posted outside. After a few minutes, Gunray ordered the battle droids to dispose of the Jedi's bodies.
They must be dead by now. Destroy what's left.
Once the doors opened, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan activated their lightsabers and destroyed the droids. They made their way to the bridge, but it was sealed by blast doors. As Qui-Gon started to cut his way in with his lightsaber, two droider cars arrived and started firing on them.
Master, destroyer!
The two Jedi retreated and made their way to the hangar bay, where they found an invasion force boarding landing craft. Qui-Gon came up with a plan to board separate ships and head to the planet to warn the Naboo of the invasion. Once on the planet, Qui-Gon literally ran into a Gungan called Jar Jar Binks and then reunited with Obi-Wan.
What's this?
A local.
Jar Jar told Qui-Gon that as he saved him, he now owes Qui-Gon a life debt,
That won't be necessary.
Oh, but it is! 'Tis demanded by the gods, it is!
and agreed to help them warn the Naboo. He took them to the underwater city of Ota Gunga to meet the Gungan leader, Boss Nass. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon tried to convince the Gungans to help save the Naboo, but Boss Nass refused.
We should no care about Naboo.
Qui-Gon used the Jedi mind trick on Boss Nass to get a transport so they could travel to the capital city of Theed. Boss Nass agreed to give them a bongo.
Master, what's a bongo?
Transport, I hope.
He told them,
A speediest way to the Naboo 'tis going through the planet core.
so Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon and Jar Jar made their way through the core and were attacked by some big-ass fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
They finally arrived at Theed and discovered the Trade Federation had already taken over the city and captured Queen Amidala.
Victory!
The Jedi rescued the Queen and several others from the battle droids and made their way to the main hangar, where they were stopped by a group of droids who asked,
Where are you taking us?
To Coruscant.
We know
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon quickly took out the droids and escaped with Queen Amidala, Captain Panaka and the Queen's handmaidens aboard the Queen's starship so they could reach Coruscant and inform the Senate about the invasion. As they made a run at the blockade, their power systems and hyperdrive were damaged. The power systems were repaired by an astromech R2-D2.
Power's back! That little droid did it!
But without the hyperdrive, they couldn't make it to Coruscant, so they decided to go to Tatooine, planet controlled by the Hutts, to repair the ship.
You can't take a Royal Highness there, the Hutts are gangsters.
They made it to Tatooine and landed on the outskirts of Mos Espa. Obi-Wan stayed behind as Qui-Gon, Jar Jar, R2 and the Queen's handmaiden Padme travelled to the town to find the parts they needed to repair the ship. A sandstorm started to move in while Obi-Wan and Captain Panaka were outside the ship. They received a transmission from Naboo. Obi-Wan told the Queen that it was a trap and not to send a reply.
It's a trap!
Send no reply. Send no transmissions of any kind.
Obi-Wan informed Qui-Gon of the message. He agreed the message had been sent to make a connection trace. After the suns had set, Obi-Wan received a transmission from Qui-Gon telling him to analyse a blood sample he was sending him for a midichlorian count.
You need a midichlorian count.
The reading is off the chart. Over 20,000.
Even Master Yoda doesn't have a midichlorian count that high.
No Jedi has.
The next day, Qui-Gon returned with the new hyperdrive and informed Obi-Wan he would return after completing some unfinished business. Obi-Wan replied,
"Why do I sense we've picked up another pathetic life form?"
It's the boy who's responsible for getting us these parts. Get this hyperdrive generator installed.
Yes, Master. It shouldn't take long.
After the hyperdrive was installed, a small boy ran onto the ship and told them Qui-Gon was in danger. Obi-Wan looked out of the window and saw Qui-Gon fighting a black-robed figure using a crimson-bladed lightsaber. Obi-Wan told the pilot to take off and fly low so Qui-Gon could board. Obi-Wan and the boy ran down to the ramp and saw an exhausted Qui-Gon lying on the floor catching his breath. Obi-Wan asked who the robed figure was. Qui-Gon said he wasn't sure. He then introduced Obi-Wan to the boy, Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker, meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hi. You're a Jedi too? Pleased to meet you.
They left Tatooine and made the jump to Coruscant. When they got to Coruscant, Supreme Chancellor Valorum and Senator Palpatine were waiting for them on the landing platform. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon went straight to the Jedi Temple to report to the Council. They reported on the mystery attacker that they encountered on Tatooine, and Qui-Gon told them he believed he was a Sith Lord.
I do not believe the Sith could have returned without us knowing.
Ah, hard to see the dark side is.
Qui-Gon also informed the Council that he believed Anakin was the chosen one, and requested that he be trained as a Jedi. When the Council decided that Anakin would not be trained, Qui-Gon said that he would take him as his Padawan, even though the Jedi Code stated it was forbidden to take on more than one apprentice. Obi-Wan said he was ready for the trials.
Obi-Wan is ready.
I am ready to face the trials.
The conversation quickly changed when Mace Windu ordered Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon to accompany Queen Amidala back to Naboo in the hopes of drawing out Qui-Gon's attacker. After returning to Naboo, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon went with Jar Jar and Queen Amidala to find the Gungans and to persuade Boss Nass to join with them in fighting the droid army so that the Queen's forces could return to Theed and capture Gunray. Once they entered the hangar, the doors slid open and the dark-robed figure stood in the doorway, the Dathomirian Zabrak Darth Maul. Maul ignited his double-bladed lightsaber. The two Jedi did the same. During the duel, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon became separated. Obi-Wan watched as Qui-Gon and Maul continued to fight. Maul found an opening and impaled Qui-Gon. In a rage, Obi-Wan attacked Maul, cutting his lightsaber in half. Maul then force-pushed Obi-Wan into a shaft, causing him to drop his lightsaber. Obi-Wan managed to stop himself falling to his death by grabbing onto the side of the shaft. Maul kicked Obi-Wan's lightsaber into the shaft and began swiping his own across the opening, causing sparks to fall onto Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan used the Force to jump out of the shaft and over Maul. Grabbing Qui-Gon's lightsaber, he ignited it and cut Maul in half, sending the Sith apprentice falling down the shaft. He then ran to Qui-Gon, who made him promise to train Anakin. Qui-Gon then died in his arms.
He is the chosen one. He will bring balance. Train him.
After the Battle of Naboo, Obi-Wan was promoted to Jedi Knight. After saying that he did not agree, Yoda accepted Obi-Wan's decision to train Skywalker.
Confer on you the level of Jedi Knight, the Council does. But agree with your taking this boy as your Padawan learner, I do not.
I will train Anakin. Without the approval of the Council if I must.
Your apprentice, Skywalker, will be.
At Qui-Gon's funeral, Obi-Wan told Anakin that he would become a Jedi.
The Council have granted me permission to train you. You will be a Jedi. I promise.
Both of them attended a victory celebration in Theed with several members of the Jedi Council. So that's the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming soon. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, subscribe and hit the notification button for future Star Wars content.
Do it.
Thanks for listening, may the Force be with you and have a great day.